Item number 7 is a resolution to discuss the noise complaint regarding Fall River coin-operated car washes located at 1225 Dwelly Street. This was tabled on January 31st, 2023. I believe we have the police department here. We got some folks, I think some residents that want to speak on behalf of the item before us. So I'll have those individuals come down now.
Motion lift from the table.
Motion to lift the table was made by Councilor Reposo. Is there a second? Second by Councilor Lilibity. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? So voted. Motion carries. There was a letter that we did receive from the police chief regarding the number of complaints, the responses to those complaints. We did have those conversations back on January with Corporation Counsel, Assistant Corporation Counsel, I should say. And Assistant Corporation Counsel did have another meeting to attend, so I told him he wasn't needed for this meeting. So if we do feel like we need additional discussion with Corporation Counsel, then we can just table this for another meeting to have him come down. But I think the plan, the last time the committee met, was to really refer this back to the chief and see what he would say in terms of the enforcement of the bylaw. The ordinance, the noise ordinance that we have. So is there any discussion? No discussion. So if you can just state your name for the record.
These are letters from two people that live on third and second floor.
Do you want to? Yeah. Can you give us your address for the record?
It's 1227 Dwelly. That's the house I'm complaining, but I live on 1215 Dwelly. And I am the landlord and my wife's the landlord. But, we've been complaining about this for quite a bit of time, and it's aggravating because I lost already a couple of people that were really good to me and living in the house. And in 2 years, I lost 3 tenants and I asked them, is it because of the rent? Is it because of me? No, it always comes out to be the car wash. As it is, the street is so very busy as it is. So, I need help on this car wash. I know I'm not here to shut it down. I'm here to quiet the car wash because it bothers me. I get up 1 o'clock in the morning. That's where I go to work. I get up and sometimes I call the cops. No, I don't want to call them anymore because I'm already aggravated. And then I heard the last meeting I was here, it's just like, it's all bad news. It's like I'm the bad guy. And I got one of the tenants, she's over there too. And she's on first floor and she's realizing, when I rent the house to the tenants, I always tell them, car wash makes noise. Okay, that's the first thing I say. Okay, but how can you explain noise? It varies. It's not 24 hours, but it's any time. I had somebody that lived on the second floor. She had a baby girl, 18 months. She told me before she moved out in November. She told me, because I come from a big family, I know how it is when you have kids. And she told me that, she got home tired. She's a guidance counselor. She was in the school department. She told me she was tired. It was 8 o'clock. She wanted to get the kid, I don't know where. The kid was very agitated, very, one of those days. And she did everything she could. She fed him. She could quiet down. So she tried to put him to sleep. So she did. About half an hour later, somebody comes with loud music and just woke up the kid. How does that mother feel after working a hard day like everybody else does? You know what I mean? I hope that you guys can help me out. That's all I ask.
She has them.
Sorry about the glasses. I can't see my eyes. My name is Vanessa Aruda, and I live at 1227 Dwelly Street on the first floor. And I know you said everything's changed, but everything does change. So when that business went in, we didn't have the type of stereo systems that we have now. So the amount of noise that it creates, and it really is less than 5 feet from my bedroom window. I'm not the healthiest person around, and even now, the reason my eyes today is because it's stress and inclusions. So as I get stressed out, not that that's my only thing, but when you have people playing this music like 5 feet from your bedroom window, and sometimes it's louder in the house than it is, because when you're outside, you're hearing the vacuum going, I'm literally screaming at these people. Then they notice me there to say, can you turn, and the guy that runs it, the guy that was here, he hears it. He's out there with them talking smack, using his F words, all this stuff, right there outside my bedroom window. So he's not any part of the help. He's part of the problem.
When I come home from one of my 2 o'clock in the morning Board of Selectmen meetings, I'll pull up into your driveway, start washing my car.
I'll get the hose out for you.
Thanks. Councilor Liberty.
On the Cumberland Farms, didn't we amend the time for the car wash?
I believe we did, yeah.
We did, right?
Mhm.
So, and I understand what you're saying about seeing about the other car washes, but some of them aren't right next to a residential house. If this was a residential house that was making noise in the middle of the night, and there was police calls going to it, and I know I'm speaking to the property owner, that he said they don't even call most of the time because they don't want to be a pain. But if that was a residential house and they were making noise in the middle of the night, they'd be a nuisance property and they'd be fined. So why are we able to do that with this?
Well, I'm sure we can, but to your point, I don't think there's enough calls that are being made, right?
Because
So-
they don't want to, and
No,
I get
no, I
that,
recognize
right?
that. So that's why I guess my recommendation would be that hearing that we want to try to, I guess, put limits on the hours of operation that. So what I would recommend is that we table this and then we come back, let's just say mid-May, which would give the police department at least a couple of months to just enforce the noise ordinance. And then we can ask the clerk if she wouldn't mind just figuring out how many
So-
car washes we have and if we can get hours of operations for those.
So I guess my thought on that is, I mean, if a car wash isn't next to a residential building, I
You gotta
don't think,
be, you gotta be consistent though, right? So then you're gonna run into a situation. If it's gonna get challenged, then it's gonna get challenged even more if you're not consistent across the board.
May I point of clarification? I think one of the example I used, that car wash is in a smack dab in the residential area. However, it has set hours.
Mhm.
So it's never an issue.
And I don't know what the ordinance is. The ordinance usually has a set time and maybe where hours is so vague. But
What?
usually it's, like 6 o'clock in the morning till,
the noise ordinance?
yeah, 10 or,
I think
is it
so.
7 to 10?
7 to
Yeah.
10?
Can I add something?
Yeah.
One of the things that might be helpful to know is that the apartment building we're talking about is zoned A2, which is apartment district. It is immediately adjacent to 1225 Dwelly, which is BL, local business district. If you wanted to do something that wouldn't be considered an unlawful taking, it wouldn't get overturned, you might limit the limitation to anything that is immediately adjacent to a residential or apartment district. So if you were just to say car washes have to close at a certain time, I think that becomes essentially a taking, right? Becomes you're singling out car washes. But if you were to say businesses that, generate, that have outdoor business after a certain time that are immediately adjacent to a residential or apartment district, that's actually tailored enough where you could probably have it be challenge proof. That's just my thought, because I was looking at the zoning, so I just wanted to throw that out.
I guess, could you, since you proposed that, could you work with the
Oh.
Assistant Corporation Counsel to just kind of draft something for maybe mid-May?
Yes,
Okay.
absolutely.
Does that work for everybody?
It's good.